Unidentified victims are individuals whose identities are unknown to law enforcement authorities, forensic professionals, and the public. These individuals may be victims of homicide, suicide, or accidental death, and their cases remain unsolved due to a lack of information about their identity. Unidentified victims may have been missing for years or even decades, and their families may have lost hope of ever finding them. The task of identifying these victims falls to forensic specialists who use a variety of methods, including dental and DNA analysis, to establish the identity of the deceased. Through their work, they seek to bring closure to families and loved ones, and to bring justice to the victims themselves. The following are a list of unidentified human remains, mostly victims of foul play, in or around the southern Illinois area. If you know anything, or can place names to the composite, I urge to contact the proper authorities, immediately. I included contact information on each segment. On with the show. Oh, and please excuse the blurred text on my case file cards. They weren't meant to be viewed by the public anyway. But I did provide key information in the description below. That being said, now, on with the show. Unidentified person number 1, a John Doe. The discovery of a body is always a tragic event, and the case of the male white subject recovered from the Illinois/Michigan shipping canal near Summit, Illinois is no exception. According to the available information, the subject was between 50 and 60 years old, 5 feet 9 inches tall, and weighed 185 pounds. He had balding brown hair and a mustache, but the color of his eyes could not be determined. The circumstances surrounding the discovery of the subject's body are unclear. However, it is believed that he may have been homeless at the time. This suggests that he may have been vulnerable and facing difficult circumstances prior to his death. It is important that anyone who may have information about the subject or the events leading up to his death come forward and share what they know with the authorities. The subject's clothing at the time of his recovery consisted of a brown sweater, blue shirt, dark blue pants, a white t-shirt, and black size 9 slip-on shoes. While these details may seem insignificant, they could prove crucial in identifying the subject or providing leads in the investigation. It is also possible that someone may recognize the clothing and have information about where it was purchased or who it belonged to. Given the limited information available, it is difficult to speculate about the cause of the subject's death. However, it is clear that an investigation is underway, and anyone with information is encouraged to come forward. The Illinois State Police, Zone 1 investigations can be contacted at 847-294-4600, and the case number is 0510145DP. Again, those numbers are 847-294-4600, and the case number is 0510145DP. Unidentified person number 2, a Jane Doe. The discovery of unidentified human remains is always a sobering reminder of the many cases that remain unsolved. One such case is the discovery of skeletal remains near the Will, Kankakee County line in October 2002. The remains are believed to be those of a black female who was between 30 and 40 years old at the time of her death. The remains were found near Route 45, and it is believed that she died in 2001. A forensic artist has reconstructed an image of what the woman may have looked like based on the remains, but the hairstyle and length are only an estimate. The Illinois State Police, in cooperation with the Kankakee County Sheriff's Office and the Coroner's Office, are seeking any information that may help identify this person or provide clues about the circumstances of her death. It is important to note that any information provided will be treated as confidential upon request. Identifying the remains of this person could bring closure to her family and friends and help bring justice for her untimely death. The circumstances surrounding her death are unclear, but any information, no matter how small, could prove vital in the investigation. It is important to note that cases involving unidentified remains are often complex and can take a significant amount of time to solve. However, every piece of information can help move the investigation forward, and ultimately bring closure to those affected by the loss of this individual. If you have any information that could help identify this person or provide clues about the circumstances of her death, please contact the Illinois State Police, Zone 3 investigations at 815-698-2672. That number is 815-698-2672. All information provided will be treated as confidential upon request. Unidentified person number 3, a John Doe. The discovery of unidentified remains is always a tragic event, and the case of the deceased unidentified white male found in Adams County, Illinois, in 1985 is no exception. The Adams County Sheriff's Department was notified of the discovery by a private citizen on April 9, 1985. The individual was approximately 20 to 30 years of age and had suffered multiple blunt trauma to the head and torso. The autopsy report concluded that this was the cause of death. The body was discovered near an abandoned rock quarry on property rented by the Western Illinois Stone Company, approximately 4 miles east of Meyer, Illinois. The area is rural, and the body was partially covered upon discovery. The victim was found wearing Segfield blue jeans, blue insulated underwear, and gray socks, but no shoes. A white printed t-shirt was located with the individual, with the following printing: Captain Anderson's Restaurant, Panama City Beach, FL, standing for Florida. Investigators also noted a distinct tattoo on the victim's right forearm of a skeleton holding an inverted shotgun. The Illinois State Police and the Adams County Sheriff's Department are seeking any information that may help identify this individual or provide clues about the circumstances of his death. Identifying the individual and providing answers about his death could bring closure to his family and friends and help bring justice for his untimely death. Cases involving unidentified remains can be complex and can take a significant amount of time to solve. However, every piece of information can help move the investigation forward, and ultimately bring closure to those affected by the loss of this individual. If you have any information that could help identify this individual or provide clues about the circumstances of his death, please contact the Illinois State Police, Zone 4 Investigations at 217-285-2034 or the Adams County Sheriff's Department at 217-227-2200. Let's take a brief moment to hit the like and subscribe button. It really helps in situations such as this to reach out and help our community or those in need. Thank you. Now, back to the show. Unidentified person number 4, a Jane Doe. The discovery of skeletal remains in March 2002 on a creek bed near Gull Road in Columbia, Illinois, has left investigators searching for answers about the identity of the deceased. The preliminary report by the forensic medical investigator describes the person as a female of African American ancestry, between the ages of 33 to 50, standing between 4 feet 10 inches and 5 feet 4 inches in height, and possibly having children. The victim is believed to have had a scar across her forehead. The medical investigator believed the person had been deceased for at least 6 months but no more than 1 year. The Columbia Police Department, along with a major case squad, began investigating the case to identify the remains. They found a green shirt with a large M and the word Mavericks in orange or yellow lettering across the front of the shirt. The shirt had 2 buttons at the top, similar to a softball jersey. The shirt is an adult XL. Additionally, a pair of khaki-colored Chat's Credential shorts, size 3, were found at the scene. Identifying the remains has proven to be challenging due to the limited information available. However, the authorities believe that the woman's clothing might hold the key to identifying her. Investigators hope that someone might recognize the shirt or shorts and provide information that could help them identify the victim. They encourage anyone with information to call the Columbia Police Department at 618-281-5151 or to call Crime Stoppers at 866-371-TIPS, 8477. Unidentified person number 5, a Jane Doe. The discovery of skeletal remains near mile marker 22 on Interstate 64 in rural Mascoutah, Illinois on Wednesday, January 30, 2002, has led to an investigation by the Illinois State Police to identify the victim and determine the circumstances surrounding her death. According to reports, workers from the Illinois Department of Transportation made the initial discovery and notified authorities. The skeletal remains were located off the roadway on the east side of the Silver Creek overpass. The St. Clair County Coroner's Office directed the transfer of the remains to St. Mary's Hospital in East St. Louis, Illinois, not Missouri. Why did I always think East St. Louis was in Missouri? Oh well. If you don't believe it, look it up like I did on good old Google. Back to the story. An autopsy was performed by Dr. James Petterchuk. The autopsy revealed that the deceased was believed to be an African American female, between 20 to 30 years of age, and had been wearing a black-colored sleeveless one-piece Jason Matthews brand jumpsuit. Additionally, the victim had 2 rings on her left hand, a 14-count small gold band, size 7 1/4, and a costume-style ring, size 6 1/2, with a light blue-colored tear-shaped stone. The autopsy was unable to determine the cause of death. but investigators believe the victim had been deceased for several months. Further forensic examinations will be conducted to identify the woman and determine the circumstances surrounding her death. Authorities are urging anyone with information about the identity of the victim or the circumstances surrounding her death to come forward. Illinois State Police, Zone 6 investigations can be reached at 618-346-3782, or anonymous tips can be provided through Crime Stoppers at 1-866-371-TIPS, 8477. Any information, no matter how small or insignificant it may seem, could be critical in helping to solve this case and bring closure to the victim's family and loved ones. Unidentified person number 6, a John Doe. The discovery of an unidentified male victim in Brooklyn, Illinois in May 2003, has led to an investigation by the Illinois State Police. The victim was believed to be a male Hispanic between the ages of 18 to 25, with a height ranging from 5 feet 11 inches to 6 feet 0 inches and weighing between 200 to 230 pounds. He was found in the trunk of a red 1988 Dodge Dynasty with a Kansas temporary tag. The victim was wearing a light blue or light green and white striped button-up shirt, black jeans, black cowboy boots, and a black belt with silver attachments resembling southwestern Indian-style jewelry. The jewelry the victim was wearing appears to be a good quality gold bracelet with the letters Ono raised and studded in diamonds. There is a flower on each side of Ono consisting of 8 petals that are diamonds surrounding a center diamond. The victim was also wearing a good quality large man's gold ring with a cluster of 6 diamonds surrounding a center diamond. Additionally, the victim was wearing a silver Casio brand watch with digital numbers. The victim's tattoo, located on the back of his right shoulder, could provide vital information in identifying the victim. Illinois State Police believe the victim has been abandoned since Monday, May 26, 2003. The investigation is ongoing, and additional information is necessary to determine the identity of the victim and the circumstances surrounding his death. Anyone with information about the victim or the circumstances surrounding his death is urged to contact Illinois State Police, Zone 6 investigations at 618-346-3770 or call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-371-TIPS, 8477. The victim's family and loved ones are also encouraged to come forward with any information that may assist in the investigation. It is crucial to find justice for the victim and hold accountable those responsible for his untimely death. Unidentified person number 7, a Jane Doe. The case of the unidentified black female victim discovered on March 11, 2002, near milepost 23 on Interstate 70, eastbound, in rural Madison County, Illinois, remains unsolved. The skeletal remains were found by workers of the Illinois Department of Transportation who were working in the area. The victim's remains were almost completely intact, and an autopsy could not determine the cause of death, but it is believed that the victim had been deceased for several months. The Illinois State Police has released computer recreation images of the victim to help identify her. The images reflect how the victim may have looked prior to her death. The victim was believed to be between 24 to 30 years old, approximately 5 feet 1 inch to 5 feet 6 inches in height, and of African American descent. There is no estimate of weight available. The victim was wearing a pair of gray-colored Second Skins brand shorts, size medium, with rhinestones and a red and white colored check flannel style Tommy Hilfiger button-down man style shirt, size XL. The victim was also wearing a man style gold nugget style ring with 2 glass stones, which was determined to be costume jewelry and is a size 7 1/4. 2 bracelets were also found, the first being a metal hoop, approximately 3 inches in diameter, with a ring of black onyx beads on elastic string that fits into the channel bracelet. The second bracelet is a combination of 3 separate bracelets. The second bracelet has numerous plastic beads, yellow, green, black, mauve, and brown, strung with thin elastic string that could be stretched. It is crucial that anyone with information concerning the identity of the victim or the circumstances surrounding her death should contact the Illinois State Police, Zone 6 investigations at 618-346-3782, or Crime Stoppers at 866-371-TIPS, 8477. Unidentified person number 8, a John Doe. The case of an unidentified male, found in a field near I-55 and Route 53 between the towns of Bolingbrook and Romeoville, Illinois on April 22, 1998, remains unsolved. The male, believed to have been deceased for an estimated 2 to 5 years prior to his discovery, has not been identified, and his cause of death remains unknown. This case is an example of the difficulties and complexities of identifying human remains, and the importance of gathering and maintaining accurate information to assist in future investigations. The unidentified male is described as a white male, aged between 20 to 30 years old, with a height of 5 feet 11 inches and weight of 160 pounds. He was wearing an extra-large blue nylon starter jacket, blue jeans, and size 991/2 Nike shoes. One distinctive feature noted was his overbite. Dental records and DNA profiles are available for comparison and have been filed with the Illinois State Police Crime Lab in Joliet, Illinois. A facial/cranial reconstruction of the victim has been prepared by the FBI and released to the public. This is an approximation of what the victim may have looked like and could potentially lead to a breakthrough in identifying him. However, it should be noted that facial reconstructions are not an exact replication of the face and head, and the victim may have looked different in life. The Will County Coroner's Office has requested that anyone with information concerning the identity of the victim or the circumstances surrounding his death to contact them at 815-727-8455. The identification of the victim and the cause of his death remain a priority for law enforcement officials and the Will County Coroner's Office. Unidentified person number 9. A Jane Doe. On July 20, 1990, an unidentified, white female body was found in a bean field in Jarvis Township, Collinsville, Illinois. She had multiple cutting and stab wounds to the neck and torso and was missing her fallopian tubes, uterus, and ovaries. No evidence of surgical removal could be determined, and there were no defensive wounds found on the victim. The body appeared to have been placed at the site 2 to 3 days prior to discovery. The victim was estimated to be between 25 to 40 years old, 5 feet 4 inches to 5 feet 6 inches in height, and weighed between 120 to 130 pounds. Despite extensive investigation, the victim has remained unidentified for over 3 decades. An image of a heart-shaped turquoise ring she was wearing at the time of her discovery is attached, along with a photograph of a reconstructive sculpture and an artist's interpretive sketch of her possible appearance before death. The ring could potentially serve as a valuable identifying feature if anyone recognizes it. The Madison County Sheriff's Department is still urging anyone with any information regarding the identification of the unidentified victim to come forward. The case remains open and investigators are actively seeking new leads. The public is asked to contact the Madison County Sheriff's Department at 618-692-0871 or call Crime Stoppers at 866-371-TIPS 8477. With any information that could lead to identifying the victim and potentially solving this heinous crime. Unidentified person number 10. A Jane Doe. On October 2, 1976, an African-American female, aged 15 to 27 and measuring at 5 feet 7 inches and 150 pounds, was found deceased in a ditch along U.S. Route 6, 1/4 mile east of the LaSalle County line. The victim had died from a gunshot wound, and her case remains unsolved to this day. The discovery of this victim's body must have been a shocking and tragic event for both her family and the community. The fact that her killer has never been brought to justice only compounds the tragedy. The passage of time has only made it more difficult to solve this case, but the efforts to identify and bring her killer to justice continue. In order to bring closure to this case and justice to the victim and her family, the Grundy County Coroner's Office is urging anyone with information about this case to come forward. Even the smallest detail could make a significant difference in the investigation. Deputy Chief Coroner Brandon Johnson can be contacted at 815-942-3792 or via email at bjohnson@grundyco.org. Again, that number and email is 815-942-3792 or via email at bjohnson@grundyco.org. It is important to remember that these victims were someone's daughter, sister, mother, father, son, friend, in any case, or loved one. They deserve justice, and their killers must be held accountable for their actions. By coming forward with information, individuals can help to bring peace and closure to those who have been impacted by this tragedy. And for those who have not been subjected to foul play, their causes of death and identities play a crucial role in giving peace to them and closure to those living, or deceased, that love them so much. Please, I urge you, if you have any information at all, big or small, call the proper authorities included in this video. Again, have a good one. I love you. And, good day.